The 2024 Atlantic hurricane season isn't here just yet, but it's already shaping up to be one for the books. Climate researchers are expecting an extremely active season. We still have time to prepare as hurricane season starts June 1st. So here to talk about what to expect next month, Director of the Penn Center for Science, Sustainability, and the Media at the University of Pennsylvania, Dr. Michael Mann. Dr. Mann, thanks for being here with us.
Thanks. It's good to be with you.
So you're predicting a very active season. Can you talk about the number of storms and the potential severity?
Yeah, so we're predicting 33 named storms. That would be a new record. In 2020, which was the previous record, that there were 20 named storms. We're predicting that 2024 will have even more. And it's actually a similar combination of factors. Very warm ocean temperatures in the tropical Atlantic right now, record warm Atlantic going into this season. And we're coming out of El Nino. We've been through an El Nino event over the last year or so, which is when the tropical Pacific is warmer than normal. We're heading into the opposite state, La Nina, when the tropical Pacific is colder. And it turns out when that happens, there's less vertical wind shear in the Caribbean and the Atlantic, so it's easier for these storms to form. And so that tends to lead to greater levels of activity during the storm season.
You know, the question with hurricanes is always, will they stay out to sea? Will they move to land? That's obviously when it becomes a bigger concern. And you mentioned to me off camera that it looks like they're trending more toward New England. Is that right?
Yeah, in fact, we've done some work in the past looking at how climate change is impacting large-scale wind patterns that determine where these storms go. And unfortunately, for those who live in New England, and I grew up in Massachusetts, the predictions are that we will see more of those storms that used to sort of head towards the mid-Atlantic. They're more likely to head north, potentially to New England. Now, one thing we can't predict, and we don't try to predict, is how many landfalling hurricanes there will be this season, because you're just talking about a handful of storms in that case.
Well, when it comes to predictions, NOAA hasn't released their expectation report yet. So how do you pinpoint your predictions of how many named storms there will be?
Yeah, so we're sort of going with two basic rules of thumb here. We have a statistical model, and you feed it the conditions when it comes to those key climate drivers, and it provides an estimate based on past historical patterns of how many storms we're likely to see. And there's some uncertainty there. So we've predicted most likely about 33 named storms, but it could be anywhere between 26 and 39, somewhere within that range.
We are still a month out. Could things change, or are they pretty much set in stone?
Things could certainly change. We already saw one tropical disturbance try to develop about a week ago, pretty early on. And what happened was there was too much vertical wind shear. Right now, there's too much vertical wind shear. So even if surface temperatures are high enough to sort of form these storms, they're getting sheared out by the strong winds aloft. That's what we expect to subside over the next several months. Once we lose those shearing winds as La Nina sets in, then all we're really going to have left behind are these very warm ocean temperatures that tend to generate more storms and more intense storms.
Okay, so now is definitely the time to start preparing with this starting in about a month or so. Dr. Mann, thank you for making the time for us today and kind of really breaking this down for us.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.